Welcome to class, Hastings business owners. Let's get right into it. Today, we are putting down the viral dance trends. We're closing out of those completely exhausting content calendars, and we are finally studying how AI search actually works. And we're going to do that by looking at something kind of totally different, the neuroscience of human memory. I'm your host, and in today's explainer, we are going to dive deep into why local marketing isn't about feeding some mysterious algorithm anymore. It's actually about building your town's civic infrastructure.
All right, let's quickly review our syllabus for today's exam prep. We'll be moving from basic psychology straight into the exact framework you need to build local truth online. We'll cover Memory 101, the AI shift, the soundbite solution, protecting local truth, and finally, civic infrastructure.
First up, Section 1. Memory 101, why the hard drive metaphor is broken.
Okay, let's dive into this first concept because it's absolutely crucial. For decades, we've talked about human memory like it's a computer, right? We store memories, we retrieve files. But computers are built for perfect fidelity. If you save a spreadsheet today, you want that exact same spreadsheet tomorrow. But biology? Well, biology works differently. Human memory is highly active. It's interpretive. We have to understand that memory isn't a filing cabinet. It actually compresses what repeats and reshapes what matters so a living organism can take action. Think about it. When a customer visits your shop, they don't remember every single item on the shelf. They remember how they felt.
Now, for our midterm, you absolutely must know episodic memory. This is the fleeting stuff. It's memory for a lived event. Think of it like a pop quiz in real life. It's an Instagram reel, a super brief chat at the counter, the smell of coffee when you walk in the door, or maybe that specific conversation you had with a customer on a rainy Tuesday. It's a single, isolated episode. On the flip side, semantic memory is your final grade. It is the durable meaning left behind long after that individual episode fades away. It's general knowledge. It's the transition from, hey, I had a great chat with the owner today, to the lasting belief of, wow, that shop is a trusted place for advice.
Let me show you exactly how this looks using our very own SC Toys as a test case. Think about the episode, Barb taking 5 minutes to help a totally panicked grandparent pick out a screen-free birthday gift on a rainy afternoon. Now, think about the semantic meaning that builds over time. SC Toys is the go-to spot in Hastings for thoughtful, expert gift advice. See? An episode magically becomes a lasting semantic reputation. You can see the exact same transition here with David at El Mexican. David takes 30 seconds to recommend a dish to a nervous first-timer. That's the episode. The somatic memory, El Mexican becomes known as a really welcoming downtown spot where families can just relax. That fleeting moment of hospitality structures the permanent local memory. So class, here is my Socratic question for you. When someone asks a machine about your business, does it actually remember you correctly? Seriously, does the internet know the semantic truth about your store, or is it just staring blankly at a list of generic keywords and an outdated PDF menu?
Let's move to Section 2, the AI shift, from index to interpreter.
See, the old Google was basically an index. You asked for a file, it gave you a file. But today's AI systems like ChatGPT or AI overviews, they are answer engines. They don't just hand you a bunch of blue links, they actually read the files and synthesize a response. And because they are interpreting, they absolutely require actual human context to formulate a response that is accurate to your town. Now, what's really fascinating here is the shift from keyword mechanics to conversational, memory-based questions. The old search was simply typing SC Toys Hastings MN, right? But the answer engine search is a fully formed human question. What is a good place in Hastings to buy a screen-free birthday gift for a 7-year-old? That is not a keyword search. That is a memory question. It's literally asking the internet to behave like a local resident.
But here's the catch. If you don't feed the machine your true local story, it's just gonna guess. And trust me, you do not want a robot guessing your soup of the day based on some outdated PDF from 2018. When AI lacks local semantic memory, it relies on these broken fragments, outdated pages, thin directories, stale menus, and generic category assumptions. It will literally hallucinate an answer. The machine will still answer the customer's question, it just might answer it really, really badly. Which brings us to the practical part of our review. Section 3, the soundbite solution, bridging episodes and meaning. So how do we actually solve this memory gap and turn your knowledge into digital memory using Local Pigeon? It's basically a 5-step cheat sheet. First, we find the real questions customers are asking. Then you record a quick 30-second answer in your own voice. We structure that into a trusted profile, apply an editorial review, and distribute it locally. We take a real question, record your voice, structure it, edit it, and distribute it to build incredibly durable memory.
I want you to completely forget about those exhausting content calendars for a minute. You do not need to dance on camera. As a business owner, answering just these 3 simple questions in your own voice is your only homework this month. Ready? What should a first-time customer know before visiting? What do people often misunderstand about what you do? And what is one timely recommendation you can make this season? These aren't just cheesy marketing slogans. They are the exact doorway questions between a customer's curiosity and their action. All right, Section 4, Protecting Local Truth and the Editorial Guardrails. I absolutely love this quote because it perfectly summarizes the danger of generic AI tools trying to write the story of our river town. Sure, an AI can write a super generic Facebook caption saying, "Enjoy authentic cuisine," but only David at El Mexican can tell a nervous first-timer exactly what to order. Without editorial trust, AI content is just synthetic noise. It is literally slop wearing a name tag.
Because memory is interpretive, bad local info quickly becomes bad local memory. And that's exactly why Local Pigeon acts as our town's editor. We put strict guardrails around high-risk claims, things like operating hours, medical claims, pricing, and safety. AI can help shape the answer, for sure, but the human owner must own the truth. We verify these facts so an AI hallucination doesn't suddenly become a local lawsuit. Trust is the product here, folks.
And finally, Section 5, Civic Infrastructure, Building Local Memory Together. Listen, a town without memory just repeats itself. Committees have to relearn the exact same lessons. Businesses fight for attention from scratch every single season. Good, hard work just completely disappears after a social post expires 24 hours later. Local memory is not about being overly sentimental or nostalgic. It is essential civic infrastructure. But a town with better memory? It gets smarter. It remembers what worked at the last event, it remembers who helped, and it remembers the owner's actual human explanation. By digitally structuring Ryan explaining the warmth of Hygge Fuller or Barb recommending a toy at SC Toys, we are actually constructing a smarter, way more resilient local economy. We make discovery totally effortless for new residents, and we guide AI systems with accurate, human-verified truth. It's like they say, the internet is full of information, but people are genuinely hungry for meaning. We are replacing the fleeting noise of social media feeds with human-verified meaning. And that makes it so much easier for Hastings to be searched, supported, and loved by both our residents and the next generation of search engines. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought for the exam. Are you capturing your local truth today so the Hastings of tomorrow remembers you correctly? Because remember, memory isn't just storage. Memory is interpretation, and if you want to be interpreted correctly, it's time to start sharing your semantic truth in a voice your community actually recognizes. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Class dismissed.